Mike Jones here with Ken's. My brother Kenny and I own Ken's Stereo Junction. We have a store in Warner Robins, a store in Macon, and since 1978 when my daddy and his brother did it, and we were raising our boys up in it, guess what we love to do? Serve you. You're going to love this show. We got vehicles. We got a loft downtown that will blow your mind. We got a courtroom. We got security cameras. We love doing what we do for you. Let's get inside and check it all out. All right, in our Macon and Warner Robins store, we have this same display that will have speakers loaded up, amplifiers loaded up, subwoofers loaded up, and head units loaded up, and it allows you to figure out what you're going to do next on yours. So I just finished with a gentleman's vehicle the other day, and we're at stage 1, and we're going to do stage 2, stage 3, based on what his budget was, and he didn't want to skimp. I tell a lot of people, you're going to either buy from a quantity standpoint or a quality standpoint, and we qualify both ways. We just want to make sure we do what is right by you. So on the quality standpoint, this is Sony's. This is the 9500 series. This is an ES series of their brand. This is a very important badge right here, so you'll know that. And this is a floating screen. Now, these have absolutely blown up as far as floating screens go. They make smaller versions like this Pioneer, and they make them anywhere from 9, 10, 11. But the blessing of this is, a lot of the screens now that are on cars do float like this, but it gives you wireless CarPlay. So no cords have to be connected to use Android Auto or CarPlay. It has a 200 watt amp built into it, but look at the resolution. It's important to know this, at the resolution. It has a backup camera input. I love that because of CarPlay, I can still use my phone like I want to use my phone. And of course, if I want to do my maps, all my maps will come up like they're supposed to. If I want to do my phone, there's my phone. There's my boo, there's my daughter, there's my mama, there's my brother, and all these. It's just simple to use, and it makes it where everything come right back together. There's my Pandora. So the blessing of this is a lot of the radios we do have CarPlay and Android Auto. Some of them are wireless, some of them are wired. I like wiring my own, even though I have a wireless one. I like wiring it because I just like it to charge my phone for whatever reason that is. All of them are going to have Bluetooth built in, and all of them have backup cameras on the screens. Of course, all the regular radios like this, I call them regular radios, the different size radios, they work as well, anywhere from a couple $100 and up. So depending on what your budget is, we got you covered on this, and we don't charge any labor unless we're modifying the dash. So just know that. In the world of mids and highs, I'm a huge fan of the new Alpines. These are the Type R 6x9s. This has been a major, major hit for us. Let me give you just a tad bit of a demo. Hopefully this will come through on the microphone. Good highs, nice bass, just a true Silk Dome tweeter. That is just super clean. And when you come in, you want to do that. And again, that's just one speaker, and I can't go through all of them because you can't really, it's best to have it in person, if that makes sense. And this is the next stage, like mids and highs. Now, when it comes to bass, we're going to do subwoofer box. We talked about the new Alpine subwoofer boxes that have their own color coding built into them. We do Rockford Fosgate. We do Sound Cubed. We do DS18. We just have a lot in that arena invested in you getting the most bass that you can get for your money. Speaking of bass, this is an important moment. I'm going to take you out to the Bay, to a Suburban that we just finished, and in the words of JJ, it is dynamite. Check this out. All righty, 2015 Suburban. Now, this gentleman came in and said, I want bass. Now, the thing about a Suburban is, if you already know this, it's 18 inches roughly longer than a Tahoe, which gives us a lot more room for a lot more bass. So if you're not a bass head, watch it anyway, because this is so fun. Now, what we did is Sound Cube to the rescue. This gentleman came in and said, I don't need a lot of trunk space. Check. I do want a lot of bass. Check. I don't want to have to upgrade my alternator or my electrical system, so I want as much bass as I can get without having to get into upgrading all those different products, like, all the different batteries and all that stuff. Check. And I want a ton of power, and I want to use my factory radio, and I want to do mids and highs later. Check again. So we come in here and we said, tell us what your budget is. He told us that. Check again. 2,500 watts. Right now you're probably seeing a cutaway of the amplifier. 2,500 watt Sound Cube amplifier, which is a mono block amp, which means it's made to be bridged, which means it's going to be really, really loud. On top of that, we have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Sound Cube 10-inch subs, and we did our custom guy built a custom enclosure, which you're going to see in just a minute. There's another check. And then here we are at the factory radio, which we have an adapter that plugs into the factory radio where we don't have to cut your factory wiring. That's the blessing. So when you go to your next Suburban or Hummer or whatever you're going to buy, we can take it all back up and put it right back to stock. So sound demo time. Yes, it's going to hurt, just like last month with that Ram truck. My microphone, I just fell to pieces. I have a feeling this may work as well, but just bear with me because this is what we do. And here we go. Be ready. It is. Oh my gosh. Lots of bass.
I be feeling like I don't be popping enough, I be humble. I'ma keep showing my ass if I want. Hang up the phone on A, I block the number. I told you don't play with me. And she be acting funny, probably thinking of beneath. I thought I was faking, she say I'm cheap. They thought I was tanking.
My nose hairs are tickling. Anyway, that is a tremendous. I hope you can hear. I'm sure it doesn't come through on there, but isn't this fun? So this is what we do when you come into the Making a One Rob store. That's the blessing. Is you get with the Brainiacs, you decide what you want. We're doing this in 3 stages. So we're doing bass now. Next we'll do mids and highs, and then we'll do another amplifier and highs. But the blessing is, he said, "I'm ready for bass," and he's got it. Speaking of, he's got it. Let's go back there. You got to see this. Hello. Here we go. I love it when it has a dealer tag on it and we get it before it even makes its first road trip. Look at this mammoth box mounted to the vehicle. That way, if you had an accident, you don't have to worry about that. This is called a slot vent port. That's what this does right here. This lets the air breathe out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4 sound cube with 2,500 watts going to them, all bridge mono, and this is where the magic happens. The blessing is, again, if he sells this vehicle, which why would you? It's a Suburban, it's beautiful, and it's new. So when he sells this vehicle, we can take all this out and put it right back to stock. But the whole thing about this is, he says, "I want custom, bada bing, bada bang." We do custom, sound cubed, Suburban, Ken's. This is what we do. All right, in the world of flat panels, I always have a segment in our infomercial about flat panels. We know we do a little bit of LG, we do Sony, we do Samsung, and all that 24 models are starting to change, anywhere from the sizes from about a 98 all the way down to about a 22. The blessing of this is, right here, you're just seeing a basic screensaver, is all of these TVs are going to come 4K. They're all going to come smart. Now, I had somebody ask me the other day, why not just buy, a cheap TV like a Sam's TV, because you can buy one for $5.99 versus maybe buying a Sony for $6.99. Well, the difference, and I need to tell you this, is about hours and about display. The fact that you see specs on there sometimes doesn't read exactly like it should. What that means is, when you have a TV that has a viewing angle of 158, that means it dims in the edges. When you have one that has 178, that means it doesn't dim in the edges. It means you got a room full of people that can see more clearly, especially when it comes to stuff like scoreboards and stuff on the bottom. Another thing is, they don't have multiple HDMI inputs if you have a cheaper TV. Another thing is, cheaper TVs, like lesser brands, I should say, they have a 10,000 hour life. And you would say, well, that's a long time. It's not a long time. Like a Sony TV and a Samsung TV have over 30,000, in some cases 50,000 hours of life. So the blessing is, now your TV that was going to last you 4 or 5 years will last you 12 or 15 years. And I have people come to me all the time and say, "Man, I bought this Sony from you 16 years ago. I just did a house the other day, and it's still running. I just want to get a new TV to have all the smart controls." So that being said, when you come in, we're going to have all the sizes on display in my Making Emma Warner Robins location. Another blessing is, my phone number is right here. The idea behind that is, I will come to you, or I can send one of the other men that do what we do, or some of the other gals that we do, to come out and assess what you need. Like, I just went to a gentleman's house. They had an entire brick fireplace. It was real brick. That right there means to be a very difficult install. So it's a blessing for me to see it first so I could plan accordingly when my guys come out, because we have our own techs that are trained to do what they do for you. Now, that being said, I gotta show you this, okay? We just did a loft downtown, and this gentleman is amazing. I didn't get permission to use his name, but he bought the whole building downtown and made it his house. It is phenomenal. I was allowed in the living room setting where he had a really big fireplace that's over 200 years old. But let me just take you over to this segment so you can see how cool this turned out. Check this out. Awesome. We are in an amazing home in downtown Macon. What they've done to this home is crazy, but I'm just showing you our part, right? Trying to keep privacy in place. But anyway, this is a 200-year-old piece of mantle. 200 years old. You were talking about the fact that they've renovated this entire place is amazing. That they wanted to keep the original fireplaces from hundreds of years ago. The idea behind it is the mantle is so tall, so the TV ends up there, as you can see. So with a mantle mount is nice, because this allows me, check that out, I can fold this all the way up into the wall, or I can pull it all the way down so that I have a proper viewing from the couch. We also came in with a Sonos Arc that gives them streaming music. It's a smart TV. This is the new Sony 93L, which is one of the greatest rated TVs made right now. But look at the clarity and the fact that you can tilt this thing. This allows me to move the TV left to right, It allows me to tilt the TV or recline it all the way back up into there if I'm just listening to music. It's really cool. This is still a smart TV, so here's my remote control from Sony that allows me to go into my home menu, and then it'll go back to all my, these are all my apps. There's hundreds and hundreds of apps that you can do. It just keeps it really simple to use. The blessing of this is they already had power and cat put in when they renovated the place, and so we came in behind that. The problem is, with a regular mount, the TV would be so high in the air, you'd be like front row of the movie theater, breaking your neck trying to watch TV. This is I cannot get enough of the picture on this thing. Now, with Sonos, it allows me, it looks like a sound bar. There's 11 speakers in here, and it's app controlled. I'm sure you're seeing a cutaway of the phone right now, because all of your apps dump into that app, like from Pandora and Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Music, all dumps into Sonos, and it allows you to have this bar. I'm sure you're seeing a cutaway of the sub right now. The subwoofer is for your bass, and it can go anywhere in the room. It's wireless, and once this connects to Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth, you're always connected. So if I'm in here and I'm playing my favorite James Taylor song, and I need to run grab some ice, that song will keep playing even though the phone's in my hand, because it's not Bluetooth connected. There's the blessing of that. This also allows you to add rear speakers if you choose. They can flush mount, they can be surface mount. And he also added 2 Sonos floater speakers, which you're seeing right now. They make what they call an Era 100 and an Era 300 that has big sound that you can just put anywhere in the house. That makes it really simple. Because a lot of times when you have something that has, look at this wall right here, everything was made out of brick, you don't really have the option sometimes to flush them into the brick. So you have these floating speakers that do all that work. Speaking of sound quality, this is just like a classical background, but listen how this sound moves in this room. I mean, again, that's something super simple, but it is filling this entire 3rd floor up with sound with just that part. And he's got floater speakers all the way through. And if you notice what, I'm using the single remote control that came with the TV to control the Sonos. There's another part of the blessing of this is not having all those crazy remotes, and now that you have so much smart control. So end of the day, he had all of this renovated, and then he called us to come in after the fact. They already had power and Ethernet lines at the top up there. But it's nice because guess what? If I have a formal venue, I can fold this baby right back up into the wall, and I still got all my music working. If I'm here and it's time to watch the big game or watch a nice movie, boom, pop it out, and I'm literally, when I sit down on the couch, I'm in my bird's eye view. It's not so difficult to watch it as if it was 7.5 feet off the ground. So you have Sonos, you have Sony, this beautiful, amazing renovated loft in downtown Macon, and Ken's. This is what we do. Now, in the world of bass, we have got you covered. If you're a bass head, I'm a bass head, I get it. This is Trinity's new 12-inch. I want to give you an idea about it. This is 5,000 watts of power, and it's $799 on sale. It's the same price it is online, so when you buy it from us, do that. The blessing is Trinity is they will absolutely pounce, depending on what you like. Let me just show you the way we roll, though. In the world of that, if you'll come over to here to SoundCube, this is their new 15-inch. This is a 1,200 watt RMS with 2,500 watt max power. This is only $279. The reason I show you these two is no matter where you are, from the budget standpoint of you getting what you want, whether it be mids and highs or amplifiers or head units or subwoofers, we're the same price as the .com, but we have our own facility for service. We have our own facility for installation. So if it's time for you to get your bass on, get in Macon and Warner Robins, I believe in my heart we got you covered. Awesome. This is what we do. All right, we are in, look that way, you'll see what we're in. We are in a monstrosity of an RV. You're probably seeing the cutaway of the outside now. But in these, a lot of the times they'll have the cameras already built in, but they don't have a proper monitor system to do that, to be able to see the cameras. And a lot of folks want to have that live view when you're riding down the road so you don't smash into somebody in your gigantic RV. Another thing they come with is really nice radios. Most of the time they do not have nice radios, or they have like an off-brand radio that does a lot of stuff but doesn't sound good. Ta-da, Ken's to the rescue. So this gentleman dropped this off, and he wanted not to be able to toggle between his cameras, and he wanted to be able to see all 3 live views of the camera. So we did this 3 different monitors that allows him to see all 3. So when you're driving down the road, I would think this mammoth right here, you just need to be able to see what's going on around you. On top of that, so here's your 3 views, super cool. This is Pioneer's newest. This is a Android Auto or CarPlay radio. It has a 200 watt amp built in, and you're seeing right now that it's synced to the phone, all good to go. Now, you can get these wired or wireless, so you can charge your phone or not. So this is pretty cool that we're using the factory speakers, and it sounds this good. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Again, these speakers being well over 10 years old, but there was not a point right now where we had to replace them. That sounds good. Hey, little girl, is now, With the CarPlay, he modernizes himself, and this gives him the idea to have AM, FM. Now he can use his Pandora and all that stuff built in. We put the microphone here because it's so far to go over there to be able to talk for the Bluetooth, so now you can wirelessly talk as well. So, end of the day, this takes time because these things are built, they're just built crazy, and it's very difficult to get them apart. So it takes a good 2 days to get it all together. So 20 hours later, he's going to come pick up his giant RV. This kind of shows you the amazing talent that the guys and gals that work for us have, that they can take this vehicle and rethink to keep us safe and to keep us modernized where I don't have to buy a new RV, if that makes sense. So Pioneer's doing their duty with the sound quality. Here we are with our 3 7-inch LCD monitors. We used his factory cameras, so that's super nice. There was an expense that he saved on. And at the end of the day, we back it up with our on RV service. This is what we do. All right, here we are. You know, the weather's in and people are going to be out. And what we do is we do a lot of slingshots. I'm sure you're seeing a cutaway of a slingshot right now. We do a lot of Harley Davidson motorcycles with sound. I'm sure you're seeing a cutaway of Harley Davidsons right now. And we do a lot of boats and a lot of side-by-sides. I'm sure you can see in a cutaway of a side-by-side right now. But in that world, Rockford Fosgate and DS18 and JL Audio, they own that market. They're so very good at it. So just know, as you see right here, we are in stock. Now, normally, if you'll bring us in and you want to do a custom bike or a custom side-by-side, if you'll give us just a couple of days, we can get that thing done and get you right back on the road. So Harley Davidson side-by-sides, boats, and marine products, all that stuff is in stock and ready for you to get on the road. This is what we do. We do a lot of security cameras. So in that realm, I want you to know that we will come out and assess. We do cameras for the home, cameras for your building, for commercial side. We do a ton of restaurants, which is further important for those reasons. But the blessing of that is we also do subdivision cameras. Very, very important if you have a subdivision to have a subdivision camera system. So I'm gonna take you over to one we just did. This is amazing. All right, the idea behind security is, you know, you can do home security, you can do in your business, you know, do restaurants like I've talked about, but subdivision security cameras have become a must, especially when you have multiple homes or dwellings in there like this here. Now, the blessing of that is you come in. So the idea behind, you see all the multiple angles up there and what they're doing. So what one of those is doing is reaching down the driveway and it clips off tags. It has an AI interface that constantly takes pictures of tags and stores that into a gigantic 8 terabyte memory so we can go back and figure out what that was. The other camera is a long ranger that sees this entrance right here. And I'm going to show you that on the app in just a minute. So whoever comes in and pulls down there, it's seeing the whole vehicle for about another 20 feet. And then there's another camera down there that actually sees when we come back out. So regardless of whether you come into the subdivision or out of the subdivision, we have a picture of your face, we have a picture of your vehicle, and we have a picture of the tag. It is such a blessing. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten with sheriffs and the police officers and caught them just like that because of it. Now, another blessing is we work directly with the internet companies to bring them in, and what they do is they allow us to put internet in. And so the idea behind that is, I'm sure you can see a cutaway of this as well, but this is my grid that allows me to see the entrance, that allows me to see their face when they're coming up the hill, and this is a tag. It kind of sees just the concrete. Look at this. I can tap this, and that is a full HD system that works day and night vision, and I'm sure you've seen a little bit of glare from what we're doing, but the blessing is that I can see a grid like that, or I can see a full grid that allows me to see the tag and the entrance. Now, I also have one extra port. These things run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from the time we plug them in. So there's my phone number. Let me come out whether you're doing home. Now, a lot of people always have questions. Do we do wired or do we do wireless? I believe wired is the answer unless the only option is to do wireless, because wireless is Wi-Fi dependent. So if your internet goes down, you don't have a way to record the bad guy. This thing has internet tie-in so I can see it on my phones, or they can see it on tablets to the people that are allowed to have it. But it also records 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of internet. That way, if there is an issue, we can come back, download the footage, put it on a thumb drive, and get the bad guy. There's my phone number. The estimate's free. You cannot underestimate. I'll say this last thing. I know I'm getting long-winded here. Don't underestimate security cameras. It's such a blessing to have them. They need to be in place to protect you, to protect your investment, to protect your family, to protect your pets. It's just what they do. There's the phone number again. The estimate is free. This is what we do. All right, we do a lot of church audio video systems. We do a lot of courtroom systems, and they're a lot alike in the way that you do, but you do have to design them very differently because of how many speakers and preachers and settings and live stream and all that. So I just know that I'm sure you've seen a cutaway now. We do big church AV systems, and we do smaller church AV systems. I'm sure you're seeing pictures of both different types of sanctuaries. We do big courtrooms, and Speaking of big courtrooms, I know I've done a couple of these this year for you. I'm so grateful to be able to work for all the different counties and do their courtrooms and get them up to date in technology, but you need to see this. This is awesome. Check this out. All right, we do a lot of courthouses. Been very, very thankful to be able to do courthouses. We've done so many different counties, Bibb and Monroe, and down in Perry, down Houston County, up in Jackson, McDonough, and we're now moving into Fulton County. But the blessing is, in this arena, you have to have technology in place, especially if you're going to be doing your live video type, video conference type stuff like for team rooms and Zoom. That's an important part of this since what we went through in 2019 and 20. And courtrooms have to change about every 10 years. They have to update video, update microphones, update control. And that's where we are. This is absolutely state of the art all the way through. So as you're seeing it, you see that the brand new 85-inch 4K monitors, those allow us, and they're on articulating arms, and that allows us to pull the TV out and swivel if we choose to. The blessing of that is this one covers our jewelry, which is nice. So if they have evidence, it'll swivel this way. The blessing of this whole setup is with each monitor, we have what they call a matrix in place that is controlled from a Pro Series iPad. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway of that now, that allows us to put what we want up there. Right now, these are our announcements. Thank you for being patient. All the rules of being into the courtroom. But this allows us to have different messages. But the blessing is when there is evidence or something that has to do with video, all that goes up in 4K. When you have to go with a video conferencing solution, we have that with our robotic camera. We have one there. We have another robotic camera in the very, very back of the room, and that dead centers up to see the judge and to see everything that's going on up here as far as the panel goes. The blessing is, again, these are fully robotic. They can be chosen to see anything they want, and they have a 30 times digital zoom, so they can zoom into that microphone if they choose to. Speaking of microphones, you gotta have microphones. These are what they call push-to-talk Shures that allows me to mute and silence if I'm having a private conversation. These podium mics are the same type of setup, but without that, but they have extremely humongous dynamic sound, which is wonderful. In our witness stand right here, we have a monitor right there that can also show evidence for a personal. There's a personal monitor there so that they can hear when there's a video with audio being done. These are flex mics, which are really nice and simple. And then if you have to have it, we also have the Shure, what they call SLX series. And these are the very best handheld microphones you can buy in case we end up with a jury member that needs to be able to speak, or we have a different, the blessing of this is I've got microphones for everybody in there and a floater microphone ×2 that allows me to do that as well. Now, what the heart of this comes from here. The rack allows us to have a digital mixer. You're seeing a cutaway of the iPad that controls all of the sound. Blackmagic allows us to stream out if we do have to do a Zoom or a Teams type meeting. It was so wonderful for them to have that technology when we went through 2019 and 2021, because when they had an inmate that had to go before the judge, they could do all that through video conferencing and kept it simple and kept it very safe and sanitary, which is very, very wonderful. End of the day, when you do a courtroom, if you're in charge of that, my phone number will come up right here. We will come to you just like we did for Bibb County, because all their courtrooms differ in just a little bit. So their technology, some of them have screens, some of them have projectors, some of them have 85-inch 4Ks. But the blessing of that is it's money spent wisely, because you have to have the technology in place, because it's just a modern world, and all of this makes it where whether you're in person or whether you're doing a Zoom or a team, everything is to the point and easy to do with just one touch button through that iPad. Again, there's the phone number. The estimate is free. We'll come out and design the entire system, and it's backed by our on-site training, and that is how we roll. This is what we do. All right, we are at YourPie in Macon, Georgia. Now, we've shown you this 4.5 or 5 years ago. They've been amazing at what they do. But what happens in businesses as they grow and grow and grow is they upgrade their technology over time, especially in the flat panel world. I just want to say this before we get to that. This has nothing to do with Ken's, but that right there is one piece of amazing pizza. So if you get in here, try that buffalo chicken. I do it every single time. Tell them to make it extra crispy and get a little honey barbecue. I'm going long-winded on that. Let's move on. We have now replaced all the 55-inch TVs in here with 65-inch smarts. In the very back corner over there, you'll see a 75-inch smart. And the idea behind this is these TVs are played anywhere from 10, 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stops, never stops. So you have to put in a panel that will take the whipping. This is the all-new Sony 4Ks called the L series that we put in here, and it allows him to come in with DirecTV. We have our own DirecTV guy, so John Kentrell from Warner Robins comes Zoom with us, and he puts all the boxes in place, and we put all the TVs in place. Another thing we did this time, I'm gonna cut through here, is We took these TVs because they were so high before this bar is closed. So we actually lowered them this time. We took them down another 1.5 feet, so 18 more inches, to get them easier. So when you're sitting in this chair, it's not one of those front row of the theater to make it work. The Sonos is what does all the music in here, and we have clipped speakers all the way across. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway of the front of the building now, where we have Yamaha drivers outside because they have a really nice outdoor patio area. So Your Pie in Macon, Georgia on Bass Road, you can tell they're getting ready to open up right now, so I had to get this segment in quick. They have a full bar, they have pizza, it's all this oven cook, I don't know how they cut that fire oven type deal that makes it all work. This stuff is absolutely amazing. Your Pie, Macon, Georgia, new technology. This is what we do. Hey, thank you so much for watching our show. It's so good. It was about a 30-minute show of you. We get to show what you guys allow us, permit us to do for you. I'm very, very grateful for that. I want to remind you of who we are. We are Ken Stereo Junction. We have a store in Macon, a store in Warner Robins. My brother and I own the company. We took over from my daddy and his brother, and our boys are in the company. And I say that a lot because I want you to know that we are ingrained into Middle Georgia. That's who we are, and we are a family-owned business. So guess what? We love serving you, and you are what feeds us, and we will never ever take that for granted. I want to tell you about our social media, very important. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have YouTube, and we're constantly putting things on there so you can kind of keep up with us, and you can go in there. If you will go into those pages and like and subscribe to those pages so we can alert you with notifications every time we have a special. We do a lot of one-day specials on there, and of course, all the crafty things that these men and women do for us is just amazing. Again, you saw the courtroom, the security cameras is what we do. We do a lot of churches and a lot of surround sound home theaters. If you just need a TV hung on the wall, we have that crew that does that too. But we have in-store service. So that means no matter whether you're getting something done for your car or your truck or your ATV or your boat or swimming pools, we'll have swimming pools on the next show. We do a lot of swimming pools, sound systems, that. But we have in-store tech support and on-site tech support. That's very important for you to know that we have both of those. 25 folks that work for us, of which 19 are technicians. That's important for you to know that is important to know because we want to be able to take care of you. My phone number right here, my brother's phone number right here. My brother's Kenny, my best friend in the world and my partner. And we want to know when folks do things good. So if somebody does something good, please let me know that so that I can reward them. Matter of fact, I didn't have one, not two, not three, but 4 different employees got rewarded last month because you guys did exactly this right here. You let me know somebody that did not just their job, but went over and above their job. If somebody makes a mistake, which we do, I did myself last week, and I want to know that. Just give me an opportunity to make it right. I want to be able to serve you fully and holy. It's important. Now, at the end of every show, I talk about Scripture. It's such an important part of my life, loving my Lord. In Lamentations 3:25 and 26, it says, "The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. It is good that one should wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord." That scripture, it reminds me of myself. I'm a very aggressive, if you haven't noticed. I talk a lot, if you haven't noticed. And so therefore, sometimes when I'm waiting on the Lord, I will jump the gun and make a decision without him. That is not what we're built for. We pray to the Lord. We let him lead us. It's very important for the Lord to lead us in the right direction. And he says, don't jump on me. You got to let me be God and you be the servant. And what I have learned over time with my own self at 55 years old is that God answers that call every time. Sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's a no, and sometimes it's a not right now. But either way, I follow him and I know that in the end, he will stand firm with me. I believe this in my heart. I hope that you will invest your time and love in the love of our Lord. Come see us at Ken's and Macon in Warner Robins.
Sweating bullets, guys.
What you sweating from?
In the courtroom.
This is Cooper testing the equipment. It takes great skill to stand there and beat on the microphone